Okay, ready to go.
All right, you guys, full disclosure Friday, week 3. Thank you for joining us. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It has it's been quite the morning. So today we are talking about home inspections, pest inspections, why you want them as a buyer or a seller.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get asked all the time by friends, by family, by clients, what's going on with inspections? Do we need to do inspections? Are they important? I don't understand them. We're going to focus today on a couple. There are several inspections that you can do when buying or selling a home. But we're going to talk about home inspections, pest inspections, and we're going to touch a little bit on title reports as well. So first I'm going to talk about home inspections and pest inspections as they pertain to buyers. So if you are a active buyer out there in the market right now, you're looking at a home, you want to make an offer on a home. Let's say we're working together and we make an offer on a fantastic dream home, and you say, what's next? Do we want to do inspections? And we would say, absolutely.
So you have 17 days typically in a contract.
Absolutely.
To do all of your due diligence to find out about the home that you're purchasing. Your realtor, hopefully Matt or I, you can change that time to 10 days or 17 days, depending on how you're trying to negotiate the contract. But typically standard, it's 17 days. That gives you time to go over every disclosure that the seller is going to send you and get all of these inspections done.
Yeah, and we recommend always get a home inspection and a pest inspection at the very least. And we set that up for our clients. We call our trusted home inspectors, trusted pest inspectors, and it varies depending on where we're buying a home at. And they go out there often within 2 or 3 days of getting into contract, and they find out every little thing about the home, which is very valuable. Not only because it gives you a lot of knowledge about the home and the condition it's in, but it gives you a little bit of leverage when we're negotiating throughout the contract. And what I mean is, say we get a home inspection, a pest inspection, it's very typical. You'll see very common things like dry rot on a home. You'll see very common things like, some kind of pests or rodent issues. You could see termite damage. You could see, bad wiring in a house. You could see plugs that aren't updated or grounded. You could see leaking pipes or fixtures, so on and so forth.
But all of these aren't like deal breakers.
Not at all. That's actually...
No, it just enables you to have understanding of what you're purchasing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's good knowledge for you, and it's not anything to be scared of. A lot of our clients, we try and prep them like, hey, there's going to be issues. This home is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old or older. Things are going to need some updating or some attention. But we use that information to make sure that we get you the best possible deal as our clients throughout this process. So we take that back, and as your agents, we are able to talk to...
This is where we shine.
This is actually what we love.
Yeah.
So,
we've saved people tens of thousands of dollars.
So we'll take that information from pest or home inspection, maybe a pool inspection, sewer inspection, whatever it is, and we'll go back and we'll start negotiating and talking with the other agent.
So it's called a request for repair.
Absolutely. So, and it can work in several different ways. We can request that all of the issues on these reports get repaired and or replaced or fixed or corrected before we close on the home. And or we can ask the other side, the sellers, for a credit towards the purchase price. So say we're in contract to buy this house for $400,000, and we ask for a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 credit depending on the issues. That's something that we represent you and negotiate and make happen.
So it could be either a credit to the purchase price to lower the purchase price, Absolutely. Or it could be a credit towards closing costs for recurring or non-recurring closing costs.
Yep.
So we've done some things where we have clients that have had these inspections come up, and Matt and I have done a phenomenal job negotiating, and they get $8,000 towards reoccurring and non-reoccurring closing costs. So when the day comes for them to close, the check they have to write is maybe a couple $100 as opposed to what it would have been thousands and thousands of dollars. So yeah, there's a couple different ways you could do that.
And then one thing to keep in mind too, you'll see a lot of homes that go for sale and it says as is condition. And we have a lot of questions about that. What does that mean? As is, like I have to take it as it is no matter what, and that's it. So that is to a certain extent true, but when you go through these inspections, a lot of times sellers or the seller's agents don't know the full condition of a home. So that's why we really advocate that you get an inspection, because oftentimes the condition is a little bit worse than the seller thinks, and a little bit worse or a lot worse than the agent thinks. So we're able to go back and say, we know it's an as-is sale, but the price that we offered you isn't reflective of what we thought the condition of the home was. We thought it was this, you represented it as this, but it turns out it needs some more love. And that's where we come back in. I'd say 9 times out of 10, we're able to negotiate a better purchase price, even on as-is sales, just because that other side doesn't want to lose the transaction. And then they now know the full condition of the home, which kind of deleverages their position, which we like to, I won't say take advantage of, but we would like to make sure that we get you
Like I just
better deal.
negotiated $8,000 off the sale price of an as-is home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just by getting an inspection and kind of deleveraging their position, actually showing them what the home condition really was.
And a lot of times too, the price that we negotiate for you, or the credit that we negotiate for you, is significantly more than the actual cost of repairs, as it turns out, after the fact. So if we get you a credit, it usually costs much less to get those repairs completed.
Nice.
So yeah.
What would you like me to talk about the seller price?
I guess we also, it's kind of two-sided when you're a buyer and you're looking to buy, the importance of it, but Kel's going to talk about the importance of it, inspections when you are listing a property. So.
Totally. So, we aren't the only agents that use these requests for repairs to leverage lower, prices or credits on closing costs. And so what we like to advise our clients to do is when you're about to list your home, it's really important to kind of know what you're putting out on the market. What you never want to do is, put your house on the market, you clean it all up, you paint it. I've already talked about all the things you need to do to list it. And then you get somebody who wants to buy it. They're all excited. And then all of a sudden they get a home inspection and maybe there's some things wrong with the bones of the house. So it looks really pretty on the outside, but there's dry rot, or there's electrical issues, or there's plumbing issues. And now all of a sudden you have this really excited buyer who wanted to buy your home, who's now very concerned, and they may either back out of the deal or they want to negotiate a lower price. And as a seller, you're blindsided by that. So we like to eliminate any of that kind of situation from happening. And so we advise our sellers to do it even before we put it on the market, weeks and weeks before we put it on the market. So as we start talking about, the timing and what we need to do to get the house ready in our pre-listing and listing appointments, we're going to have you get a home inspection, and we will be there at the time as well.
Absolutely.
Because Matt's phenomenal at the construction part, and so he has like that brain for, what the inspectors are saying. That's not my forte. I go and I know, but this is what Matt's kind of specialty is. And we can kind of come up with a game plan. Like, hey, this is what the home inspection said. These are some things that you may want to tackle ahead of time and get those all clean and done. And that way you can present the home in a very market-friendly way, right? In terms of...
Yeah, last thing we want to do is list your house, get into contract, and then some other agent try and come and get a better price or get a better deal. So we want to deleverage any buyer's agent. We want to make sure that there's no anxiety that you guys have to experience.
Well, and even that we can, and we can not only give you the ability to fix some stuff ahead of time, but once it's all fixed, or even if you don't want to fix it, everything is out on the table. So we would upload all of those to MLS. And so there is no ambiguity. There is no gray area during that inspection time. And even before someone makes an offer, when they make the offer, they've already been given all of that information. So it's not, the chances of them trying to wheel and deal and all that kind of stuff are a lot smaller because everything is out on the table.
And fixing issues beforehand is always much cheaper than trying to fix issues in contract. Significantly, thousands
so much cheaper
of dollars. So, because when you're in a contract and you're on a timeline, you got to get it fixed tomorrow.
And you're paying a premium for that.
It gets pricey. If you're adjusting an air conditioner, a heater, a water heater, an electrical panel, that stuff gets pricey when you're under the gun. So having the ability to handle it beforehand will save you thousands on the front side and then keep you at a great purchase price or sale price on the backside too. So
yeah, and everybody asks how much are home inspections or pest inspections, What do you think? What do these inspections typically run?
If you're doing a home inspection and pest inspection combined, I'd say usually around $350 to $500 combined, and it will vary by different companies. So, but when you put them together, a lot of companies offer both inspections. It is sometimes the same person. It is sometimes different people from the same company. But I would always say get it from the same company if you can. It helps out a lot.
You know, and then those are like the two most important, I would say, that if you're going to purchase or sell your house. The other one that I think is really important that we learned when we were living in Land Park is the sewer inspection. So if your home is over 30 years old, it is crucial to get a sewer inspection. You know, those pipes over time, even in our house, we had roots from the trees growing through the pipes. And you really want an idea, because that can be really pricey to redo the sewer line. So, you know, the city or the county is in charge of the main sewer line, but as a homeowner, you're in charge of the line from your house to that county line. And depending on how big your yard is or how far that is, it can get into the tens of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially the older neighborhoods, you know, Land Park, East Sac. You're
almost always.
Homes built around the turn of the century, 20s, 30s, 40s. So you definitely could have a lot of opportunity in those areas. So
yeah. So and then it's an opportunity either as a buyer to deleverage the seller in terms of negotiating price down, or as a seller to be aware of what's going on and maybe handle that ahead of time, so that you can get top dollar for your home.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else you want to add about this?
No, I mean, just saying there's a lot of other options for inspections too, and that's where, you know, using a really qualified and experienced realtor will help you out in determining what inspections you should get, because there's countless inspections that you could ask for or pay for. Some are a waste at times, and some are super critical and important at times. So definitely want to make sure you're working with a great realtor that knows the differences, like killing that. So.
Well, and you know, also you guys, these are really, really great tools. Like, just because you are getting these inspections, don't think that you are locked into this house. Just because you're in contract, you don't have to. Let's say you find out things that are egregious, that are crazy, you know, this is way more than I bargained for. I don't even want to deal with that. This is what your inspection contingency is for. And you have an off ramp to get out of this contract. And that's what we're here to help you with, and to kind of mitigate that kind of process and figure out what you do. Is it worth it to stay? Is it worth it to leave? Like, what are the pros and the cons? And so that's what the inspection contingency is, and that's what those 7 days allow you to do.
And I would say one thing too: do not freak out when you get the inspection reports back.
And that's why we're going to be here to help you, because it's overwhelming. Like, even if your house is pristine and it looks like it's out of a Pottery Barn catalog, when a home inspector comes in, he's still going to have a 30-page report. And
or more.
Or more.
60, 70-page report, and it's, you know, different colored inks, and it looks like the house is falling apart, about to burn down. So, like, don't freak out. Every single home inspection is going to look really substantial, and, like, there's a lot of issues. But when you sift through it, it's usually not as bad. Sometimes it is, but sometimes most times it's not as bad as it looks. So, yeah.
So you have anything going on for the market? We do have two open houses this weekend in Granite Bay. So check out our Facebook page to check out the address for that. It's going to be 12 to 2 on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be the greatest of value in Granite Bay right now. So if you're cruising around, it's going to be 2 sunny days. The most beautiful days, perfect days for house hunting.
Yeah.
Come by and say hi. I'll have cookies and I don't know what else, but something good.
And then next week we'll talk a little bit about, you know, March real estate statistics and performance too. It's been a great start to the month. Month's almost over, but significant growth. So we'll talk about that next week. The market's looking fantastic right now. So
I know.
Yeah,
we just closed on a big one. We just closed on $1 million deal this week.
I know. Exciting.
It's been a big week.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready? Let's go talk about the weekend.
That's it.
All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Full disclosure Friday, week 3, talking about inspections and contingencies and all that good stuff. And Matt will talk about March statistics next week, and I'll have my 2 cents about something else. So.
Something. All right.
Something.
Have a good
Bye,
weekend.
guys.
Bye.